G'day everyone, I'm Dr. Hannah Collins, and I've been working as a urologist here in New Zealand for over 20 years now. I've had thousands of conversations with blokes just like you in my clinic in Auckland, and let me tell you, there's one topic that comes up time and time again, but rarely gets talked about, openly. Today, we're going to have a proper yarn about something that affects every single man as he gets older, and I promise you, by the end of this video, you're going to walk away with real, practical advice you can actually use. Look, here's the thing. Your penis, just like the rest of your body, goes through changes as you age. It's as natural as the sun setting over the Hauraki Gulf. The tissues lose some of their elasticity, the firmness isn't quite what it used to be, and yeah, even the size can change a bit over time. I know that's not what any bloke wants to hear, but ignoring it won't make it go away. What will help is understanding what's happening and knowing exactly what you can do about it. Now, I'm not here to sell you anything or give you some wishy-washy advice that sounds good but leaves you scratching your head. I've seen too many of my patients come in frustrated because they've watched videos or read articles that promise the world but deliver nothing practical. That's not how I operate. After 2 decades of helping Kiwi men with their intimate health, I've learned that what people really want is straight talk and real solutions. So that's exactly what you're going to get today. I'm going to share 3 scientifically backed strategies that you can start using right away to slow down the aging process of your penis and maintain your performance for years to come. And I'm not just going to tell you what to do in vague terms. I'm going to give you specific foods to eat, specific exercises to try, and specific numbers to look out for.
Sound good? Sweet as. Let's crack into it. Before we dive in, if you find this information helpful, do me a favour and hit that like button. It helps more blokes find this content, and honestly, this is stuff that every man over 50 needs to know, but rarely gets told. If you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel because we put out heaps of practical health advice specifically for men in their golden years. Right, let's get started. First, let me explain what's actually happening down there as you get older, because once you understand the mechanics, the solutions will make a lot more sense. Your penis is made up of specialized tissue called the corpora cavernosa. These are basically 2 tubes that run along the length of your penis and fill with blood when you get an erection. Think of them like those inflatable camping mattresses. When they're new, they inflate quickly, hold their shape firmly, and stay that way.
But over time, the material gets a bit worn, it takes longer to inflate, and it doesn't hold quite as firm. What happens is that the elastic fibers in this tissue start to break down and get replaced by collagen. Now, collagen is great for your skin and joints, but in your penis, too much of it makes the tissue stiffer and less flexible. And flexibility is absolutely crucial here, because that's what allows your penis to expand during an erection. Less flexibility means less expansion, which means erections that aren't as firm or as full as they used to be. There's also an enzyme called endothelial nitric oxide synthase, or ENOS for short. This little fella is essential for getting erections because it helps produce nitric oxide, which is the chemical that relaxes your blood vessels and lets blood flow into your penis. As you age, the levels of this enzyme naturally decline. And when there's less nitric oxide being produced, the whole erection process becomes less efficient. Now here's where testosterone comes into the picture. Testosterone isn't just about your sex drive, though that's certainly part of it. It actually plays a crucial role in maintaining the health of that corpora cavernosa tissue I mentioned earlier. Studies have shown that adequate testosterone levels help prevent the breakdown of those elastic fibers and keep your penile tissue healthy and functional. It's like testosterone is the maintenance crew that keeps everything in good working order. The tricky part is that testosterone levels naturally start declining around age 40, and they keep dropping as you get older. Some studies suggest men lose about 1 to 2% of their testosterone each year after 40. Combine that with the natural decline in ENOS activity, and you can see why things start to change down there. But here's the good news, and I really want you to hear this. These changes are not inevitable. They're not set in stone. With the right approach, you can significantly slow down this process and maintain your performance well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. I've seen it happen countless times with my patients. The blokes who take action and follow these strategies consistently are the ones who stay active and confident in the bedroom for decades longer than those who just accept decline as their fate. Right, let's get into the first strategy, and this one is absolutely foundational. You need to take care of your overall health if you want to take care of your penis. I know that sounds obvious, but you'd be amazed how many fellas come into my clinic expecting a quick fix for their erectile issues while they're still smoking, eating takeaways every night, and haven't done any exercise since they played rugby in their 20s. Your penis is connected to the rest of your body. It's not some separate unit that operates independently. The same blood vessels that supply your heart also supply your penis. The same hormones that affect your energy levels affect your erections. So if you're neglecting your overall health, your intimate health is going to suffer right along with it. Let me break this down into specifics because I know that's what you want. First up, diet. And I'm not talking about going on some crazy restrictive diet or counting every calorie. I'm talking about eating in a way that supports your hormonal health and keeps your blood vessels in good nick. Here are some specific foods that have been shown to naturally support testosterone production. First, eggs. The cholesterol in egg yolks is actually a building block for testosterone production. Having 2 or 3 eggs for brekkie a few times a week is a great start. Second, oysters. If you're lucky enough to get some fresh, bluff oysters, you're on to a winner because they're absolutely loaded with zinc, which is essential for testosterone production. Third, fatty fish like salmon, which you can get fresh from our beautiful New Zealand waters. The omega-3 fatty acids support hormone production and keep your blood vessels healthy. Fourth, leafy green veggies like spinach and silver beet. These contain magnesium, which has been linked to higher testosterone levels. Fifth, garlic and onions. I know they're not the most romantic foods, but they contain compounds that boost testosterone production. And sixth, pomegranates. There's research showing that pomegranate juice can improve blood flow and support erectile function. On the flip side, there are foods you should be limiting. Processed foods, excessive sugar, and too much alcohol all have negative effects on your testosterone levels and blood vessel health. I'm not saying you can never have a beer with your mates or enjoy a meat pie at the footy. Just don't make it an everyday thing. Now, let's talk about exercise. And again, I'm going to be specific here because telling someone to just exercise more isn't helpful. For testosterone and penile health, you want a combination of resistance training and cardiovascular exercise. For resistance training, you don't need to become a bodybuilder, but doing some form of strength training 2 to 3 times a week has been shown to boost testosterone levels. This could be lifting weights at the gym,
doing body weight exercises at home, or even doing some heavy gardening work around the section. The key is challenging your muscles. For cardiovascular exercise, aim for about 30 minutes of moderate activity most days of the week. This could be a brisk walk around the neighbourhood, a swim at the local pool, or going for a cycle. The important thing is getting your heart rate up and improving your circulation. Good circulation means good blood flow to your penis.
There's also a specific set of exercises that directly benefit your erectile function, and these are called Kegel exercises. You might have heard of women doing these, but they're incredibly beneficial for men too. The muscles you use to stop urinating midstream are your pelvic floor muscles, and strengthening these can improve the firmness of your erections and give you better control. Here's how to do them. Squeeze those muscles as if you're trying to stop yourself from weeing. Hold for 5 seconds, then relax for 5 seconds. Do this 10 times, 3 times a day. You can do it sitting at your desk, driving your car, or watching the All Blacks play. Nobody will know you're doing it, and over time you'll notice a real difference. Now, beyond diet and exercise, you need to manage the health conditions that can accelerate penile aging. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, and type 2 diabetes are the big 3. These conditions damage your blood vessels throughout your body, including the ones that supply your penis. If you've got any of these conditions, get them properly managed with your GP. Taking your medications as prescribed and keeping your numbers in check isn't just good for your heart, it's essential for your intimate health too. Sleep is another factor that often gets overlooked. Most of your testosterone is produced while you sleep, particularly during deep sleep. If you're only getting 5 or 6 hours a night, or if your sleep quality is poor, your testosterone production is going to suffer. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep. If you're snoring heavily or waking up tired even after a full night's sleep, talk to your doctor about getting tested for sleep apnea, because that's surprisingly common in older blokes, and it absolutely hammers your testosterone levels. Right, let's move on to the second strategy, and this one might surprise some of you.
You need to keep your penis active. I'm not being crude here. This is genuine medical advice based on solid research. The principle is use it or lose it, and it applies just as much to your penis as it does to any other part of your body. Think about it this way. If you had your arm in a cast for 6 months, the muscles would weaken, the tissue would become less flexible, and it would take time to get back to normal function. Your penis responds similarly to lack of use. Regular erections are essentially exercise for your penile tissue. When you have an erection, blood flows into the corpora cavernosa, stretching the tissue and delivering oxygen and nutrients. This process helps maintain the elasticity and health of the tissue. Research has shown that men who have regular erections, whether through sexual activity or otherwise, maintain better erectile function as they age compared to those who don't.
It's like your penis needs to be reminded what it's supposed to do, or it starts forgetting. Now, I know that for some of you, getting regular erections isn't as simple as it used to be. Life gets in the way. Maybe your partner isn't interested as often. Maybe you're dealing with health issues that make things difficult. Maybe you're widowed or single and don't have a partner at all. Whatever your situation, the important thing is finding ways to maintain that regular activity. Morning erections are actually really important here. When you wake up with an erection, that's your body's natural maintenance routine at work. If you've noticed that morning erections have become less frequent or less firm, That's a sign that something might be off, and it's worth talking to a doctor about. If you're finding it difficult to achieve or maintain erections, don't just accept it and move on. This is a medical issue that can often be treated very effectively. There are medications available that can help, and there's no shame in using them. In fact, using these medications isn't just about having sex. It's about maintaining the health of your penile tissue. Even if you're not sexually active, maintaining regular erections protects the tissue from the accelerated aging that comes with disuse. I've had patients who felt embarrassed about seeking help for erectile difficulties, and I always tell them the same thing. This is a health issue, plain and simple. You wouldn't feel embarrassed about getting treatment for high blood pressure or a dodgy knee. Your erectile function is just another aspect of your health that deserves proper attention. There are also vacuum devices available that can help promote blood flow to the penis. These aren't a replacement for natural erections, but they can be a useful tool, particularly for men who are having difficulty achieving erections on their own. I can discuss these options in more detail with any of my patients who are interested. The key message here is don't neglect this aspect of your health. The more you let things slide, the harder it becomes to get back on track. Taking action early and maintaining regular activity is far easier than trying to reverse years of decline. Now, let's get into the third strategy, and this is one that I think is incredibly important but often overlooked. You need to monitor and maintain your testosterone levels. I mentioned earlier that testosterone naturally declines as you age, and this decline has direct effects on your penile health. But the good news is that we can measure your testosterone levels with a simple blood test, and if they're low, there are effective treatments available. The first step is knowing where you stand. If you're over 50 and you're experiencing symptoms like decreased sex drive, erectile difficulties, fatigue, mood changes, or loss of muscle mass, it's worth getting your testosterone levels checked. The test is straightforward. It's just a blood draw, ideally done in the morning when testosterone levels are at their highest. Now, what's considered a normal testosterone level? Generally speaking, total testosterone levels between 10 and 30 nanomoles per litre are considered within the normal range for adult men. But there's a lot of individual variation, and what's optimal for one person might be different for another. Some men feel fine at the lower end of the range, while others need to be higher to feel their best. This is something you need to discuss with your doctor based on your symptoms and your test results. If your testosterone levels are found to be low, there are several treatment options. Testosterone replacement therapy is the most direct approach, and it comes in various forms, including gels, patches, injections, and implants. Each has its pros and cons, and the right choice depends on your individual circumstances and preferences. I want to be upfront about something here. Testosterone replacement therapy isn't right for everyone, and it's not without risks. There are potential side effects and contraindications that need to be considered. This is definitely not something to self-treat or buy dodgy supplements online for. You need proper medical supervision from a qualified specialist who can monitor your levels and adjust your treatment as needed. For men who prefer a more natural approach or who want to optimize their testosterone levels. Before considering replacement therapy, there are lifestyle strategies that can help. We've already covered diet and exercise, both of which support healthy testosterone production. There are also some specific things you can add. First, vitamin D. Many New Zealanders are low in vitamin D, especially during winter, and research has linked vitamin D deficiency to lower testosterone levels. Getting some sun exposure when you can, and considering a vitamin D supplement during the darker months is a smart move. Second, zinc. This mineral is essential for testosterone production, and many men don't get enough of it. Beyond oysters, good sources include beef, pumpkin seeds, and chickpeas. A zinc supplement might be worth considering if your diet is lacking. Third, reduce stress. Chronic stress raises cortisol levels, and high cortisol actively suppresses testosterone production. Finding ways to manage stress, whether that's through exercise, meditation, spending time in nature, or just having regular time out with your mates, is important for your hormonal health. Fourth, limit alcohol.
While a beer or two isn't going to cause major problems, heavy drinking has been clearly linked to lower testosterone levels. If you're drinking more than a couple of drinks a day regularly, cutting back could have a real impact on your testosterone. Fifth, maintain a healthy weight. Excess body fat, particularly around the belly, is associated with lower testosterone levels. The fat tissue actually converts testosterone into estrogen through a process called aromatization. Losing weight if you're carrying extra can help shift this balance back in your favour. Now, I want to touch on something important. Aging is a natural process, and there's nothing wrong with getting older. The goal here isn't to fight against nature or to try to stay young forever. The goal is to age well. It's to maintain your health, your function, and your quality of life for as long as possible. And when it comes to your intimate health, that's absolutely achievable for most men.
I've been doing this job for over 20 years, and I've seen blokes in their 70s and 80s who have better erectile function than some men half their age. The difference isn't genetics, although that plays a small part. The difference is the choices they've made over the years, the habits they've developed, the attention they've paid to their health. It's never too late to start making better choices. Even if you've neglected your health for years, even if you're already experiencing difficulties, there's almost always something that can be done to improve things. The first step is simply deciding to take action. So let me summarize the 3 key strategies we've covered today. First, take care of your overall health. Eat well, focusing on foods that support testosterone production like eggs, oysters, fatty fish, leafy greens, and garlic. Exercise regularly, combining resistance training with cardiovascular activity, and don't forget those Kegel exercises.
Manage any chronic health conditions like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes. Get enough quality sleep. Second, keep your penis active. Regular erections are like exercise for your penile tissue. They maintain blood flow, deliver nutrients, and preserve elasticity. Don't let difficulties slide without seeking help. There are effective treatments available, and using them isn't just about sex. It's about maintaining the health of your tissue. Third, monitor and maintain your testosterone levels. Get tested if you're experiencing symptoms of low testosterone. Work with your doctor to explore treatment options if needed. Support your natural testosterone production through diet, exercise, vitamin D, zinc, stress management, limiting alcohol, and maintaining a healthy weight. These aren't complicated strategies. They're not expensive or difficult to implement, but they do require consistency.
They require you to take your intimate health seriously and to make it a priority. And I can tell you from 20 years of experience that the men who do this are the ones who maintain their performance and their confidence well into their later years. If you found this information helpful, I'd love it if you could hit that like button and share this video with any mates who might benefit from it. This is the kind of stuff that men often don't talk about, but we really should. The more open we are about these issues, the more men will feel comfortable seeking help and taking action. If you've got questions, drop them in the comments below. I try to read through them regularly, and I'll do my best to respond. And if you're in New Zealand and you'd like to discuss any of these issues with me personally, you can find information about my practice in the description. Remember, your intimate health is part of your overall health. Taking care of it isn't vanity or indulgence. It's just good sense. You deserve to feel confident and capable at any age, and with the right approach, you absolutely can. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.